This is Southern Railway's Saluda Grade. This runs between Asheville, North Carolina and Greenville, South Carolina. It is the steepest mainline grade in the United States. It has an average rate of 4.9%, and at the steepest, it's 5.1%. It goes through many towns, and this line was completed in 1878 and operated until 2001 before Norfolk Southern abandoned it. The reason they abandoned it is because they kind of realized you can just run the trains around the mountains. They would usually haul coal and wood chips through the mountains, as you can see right there, and occasionally other mixed freights. Now, there were 3 runaway tracks, that's the second one, and only one of them is still there. It's runway track number 2 at Melrose. Now, the other ones, runway track 1 was located just outside of Saluda, and it wasn't used as long as the one as number 2 was. And you might think, did those tracks really get used much? Yes, they did. Trains went up them quite frequently. The tracks were always aligned for the runaway track until the train got close, and the engineer or conductor would tell the person who was working at the runaway track to flip the switch. Back in the era of steam engines, they would have to split the train up into parts, and this carried on until they got the Dash 8s. But they would have to split the train into multiple parts down in Hendersonville and take it up in cuts. They would usually also have helpers there that would help push the train up the grade. All of the infrastructure is still there at Saluda, and all the tracks are still here. But recently, the tracks were purchased by 3 different companies who are nonprofits, and they are trying to convert the Saluda Grade into a rail trail. And in my opinion, I don't think we should take up all the tracks. For one, it doesn't look like this anymore. It's all covered in kudzu, and the rail is also 132-pound rail, which is the heaviest rail, and it's kind of needed on the super steep grade. And there's only a couple machines out there that can take up a 132-pound rail. And most rail trails that get converted into trails are a 110-pound rail or a 100-pound rail. But a 132-pound rail is super heavy. Not to mention, nowadays there's many, many washouts along Saluda. Even Helene just destroyed it more than it was already. Multiple steam trains did climb it. 611 did, and 1401 did. And the 611 actually stalled at the very top of Saluda, but they were able to get it across the mountain. And it went up it without any diesel helpers, as you can see right there. That's runway track number 2, and I think that was them entering Saluda. But they had passenger service through here until 1976, whenever they handed it over to Amtrak. And as you can see, they had a lot of engines that had to be put on these trains to get them up over the mountain. That's runway track number 2, and that's downtown Saluda. That's the depot in the background right there. The depot is now a museum. I encourage y'all to go visit it. So now that we've got the history out of the way from Saluda, let's talk about the new rail trail. This is a map of the proposed rail trail running from the outskirts of Inman, South Carolina, to Flat Rock, North Carolina. It is a 31.5-mile stretch of track. And I think this entire line is basically overgrown. You'd have to go up and see it yourself, but there's not many pictures that actually show it being overgrown, but everything's covered in kudzu, and there are so many washouts, it's actually kind of unbelievable. Helene basically destroyed anything that was left of this line, and I really cannot see them adding a trail for 31 miles along this kind of destroyed track. As you can see from these pictures, this was taken early February. Actually, it was taken the day of the upload. I went to Saluda today, and these are older pictures. But as you can see, this line is really, really destroyed. So many washouts. This is what the entire line looks like. This is not just one section. This is the entire line. It's very destroyed. Now, all the track you see here, this is probably covered in kudzu now. This area is just kudzu, that runway track number 2. And here are some videos that I took of what it looks like as of February of 2026. See, there's the switch there. This is runway track number 2 at Melrose. And as you can see, yep, you're looking right at the signal right there. And the signal used to be. I think somebody stole it because it's not there anymore. The post is there, but the actual signal is not. That lever does not do anything, by the way. Just thought it'd be cool to flip it. But yeah, as you can see, it is very overgrown, and I really cannot see them turning this into a trail. You know, they said they were, but you know, this is going to cost millions and millions of dollars to do, and it's probably going to get delayed a lot if it does happen. But there is a better alternative.